and ever.
I'm just waiting for the buzz. Oh, yeah.
Now, can you keep talking that shit about my fucking kid? And you annoying me and aggravating me. And I'm trying to enjoy my life.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain giant.
Standing at the bus stop, sucking on a lollipop. Once she gets pumping, it's hard to make the hottie stop. Hottie stop, stop, stop.
You ready? All right now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now. The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. What up and welcome back. It's your girl Jane, the plainest Jane. We got some syrup to get into, okay? I'm here. My co-host is here. He's ready for his first half of the payment. You ready? He's like, stop playing games with me. You know I'm ready for my payment, right? So let's give him his treat because he's got to clock in. Some of y'all like him more than y'all like me. So, I mean, you know, we got to put the cat to work. But we can't have the cat calling Peter and them trying to report me for not compensating him properly. So I've compensated him. All right. That's it. You can get down. Thank you. Can you get down? All the way down over here. Leo, can you get down, please? Thank you. All right. We got our co-host introduction out the way. It's your girl Jane, the plainest Jane. We're here and sassy ass Leo. Okay. We are here to give you some information. Y'all know things are always sticky in Hollywood in real life. Listen, y'all are here on the bus. Y'all already know what it is. You cannot ride my bus for free. You cannot ride my bus for free. And when I say that, what I mean is hit the thumbs up button because it's free to donate, and paying your fare on this bus is as simple as hitting the like button. I know if you're here watching, you're already subscribed. If not, make sure y'all hit that button, okay? But you definitely need to subscribe if you want to be a part. You want to be a part of this bus ride, okay? So pay your fare and hit the daggone thumbs up button, okay? Now, shout out to the people who do send cash apps and super chats. Those are appreciated, right? Those monetary donations. But if you ain't got a couple dollars to give a sister, that's okay. Hit the thumbs up button for free because you ain't got to pay no money to donate when you're over here on my channel. Now, let's get to it. Let's get to it because we got some things to talk about. This flashy pastor has been the talk of the town for quite a while, right? Honestly, I hadn't heard about him until that whole robbery situation happened, him being robbed on live stream. I did that video a few days ago. I want to say it was the day before yesterday I did that video. And I don't believe it. You can tune into why I don't believe that he was really robbed and why I feel like it was a hoax. This guy, he's got a track record, right? He did 5 years hard time for identity theft, grand larceny, scamming folks out of $2 million. So I don't think that he's changed his ways. Matter of fact, I think he's back to his old ways if he ever even got away from them. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, before we get into what's going on today, okay, because in this video, we're going to be discussing how he scammed his own church member, because yes, he's a bishop, he's a pastor, all that other stuff. He scammed his own church member, right? An old woman out of $90,000, her entire life savings, right? Then on top of that, he gave her $100 a month allowance, right? After she liquidated, right, her asset, right, her retirement fund, her life savings. He said, okay, cool. Give me your entire life savings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you $100 allowance to live off of a month after you give me this $90,000. So you can live off this $100 a month, right? This woman is 57, almost 60 years old. I don't even know an 18-year-old who can live off of a 15-year-old, a 10-year-old. Nobody can live off of $100 a month, right? And this was just last year, okay? Every time she contacted him about upholding his end of the deal, he was too busy because he's busy running for political office, right? He's trying to get to the big leads of scamming, which is the dirty political office, right? And then when we get to these text messages that we're going to go over, we're going over court documents, we're going over text messages and some of the exhibits from the legitimate court, because y'all notice how I do when I cover these court cases. He has no intention of paying her back. He even let her know, listen, I'm going to see what I can do, but honestly, ma'am, I'm under no obligation to give you your money back. His own church members, he's swindling out of money. You standing in front of broke people preaching, you got robbed over the weekend, and you went from they stole $400,000 worth of jewelry from me and my wife to they stole $1 million worth of jewelry from me and my wife. To where we are now. Can somebody make it make sense? Please. Make it make sense. Because it's not making a whole bunch of sense at all. But come on in, make sure y'all hit thumbs up. This is the bishop, just to give you a reminder, right, of the type of a pastor he is. Let's get into what his church looks like.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain giant.
So this is 922 Remsen in Canarsie, Brooklyn. This is the location where Bishop Lamor Whitehead holds his Sunday services and his sermons, the location for his ministry. And there's a very popular Haitian restaurant next door, Venus Restaurant. And this is what it looks like. It's on Remsen Avenue. It's in kind of a industrial area as well. But that's where everything happened. So they must have come in when they were robbing him.
It's a shame.
Unless the gate was open, which we don't know yet, but up those stairs. And police are telling us right now this investigation is ongoing. 911 call was made. Over $1 million in jewelry was taken from him and his wife. Luckily, no one was injured. But that's the location right there. Holds his Whitehead. Holds his.
That's the church. Okay. We went through the inside of the church in my previous coverage of this. You can go find another thumbnail, find the last video I did on this. The inside of the church literally looks like 2 bedrooms put together. Is what it looks like. He can't afford better for the church, but he can damn sure afford to wear $400,000 to let him tell it $1 million worth of jewelry. And honestly, I'm not sure if I really believe those amounts or not, right, for the insurance claim, but he's definitely a lavish guy. He drives these Rolls Royces. He lives these big, this big luxury lifestyle while he's preaching to these people who, are a part of poverty, right? Like he's preaching to broke everyday people. And so what are you doing with the money, right? And that's why a lot of people are saying, especially Larry Reid, shout out to him, said, listen, I don't feel sorry for the robber that gets robbed. Because a lot of people feel like, listen, you are a robber. The exchange between him and Larry Reid was so cold. It was so brutal the other evening. It was crazy. Yeah, it was 2 bedrooms. That's exactly what it was. So, he says he owns a block. Who knows? Storefront, scamming, all that other stuff. Listen, y'all. Make sure y'all hit thumbs up. Let's get into this. Hold on to your sanity, right? Check your mental health before you get into checking into all of this. You ain't got no business dibbling and dabbling if you haven't handled what's going on in your world and your life and whatever your invisible problems are. Shout out to the new subscribers and everybody in the chat. Thank you for 10,000 subs. I really, really do appreciate that. Like, y'all are dope and amazing as hell. Okay. And of course, right, before I get into breaking down today's topics and viral events, make sure you subscribe and thumbs up or down. Either way, I appreciate it. But make sure you think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. We back for the second bus ride this evening. How we doing? Hitting y'all back to back with 2 streams this evening. I really want to give y'all another stream after this, but I feel like I might get tired after this one. So we're going to see if we're going to head to the backup channel later on. Nonetheless, come on in, hit thumbs up. Let's jump right into it because I want to get to the story and I can't wait to show y'all these documents. Drop some pancakes in the chat and let's get into it.
The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some black, and she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
And we're back. Thank you for supporting the channel in any way that you can. Like, thumbs up, subscribe, Cash App, Super Chat, all that stuff. Y'all are appreciated. But let's jump right into it because I ain't trying to waste no time, okay? Someone in the chat said, where's Leo? The co-host was in the beginning of the video. We're going to see what he do a little bit later on. So we showed Leo a little earlier. You can rewind if you want to see that. So let's get into this flashy pastor because that's basically what social media has dubbed him as, is the flashy pastor. Okay, we can see this mugshot right here again because he does have a past, and quite frankly, a lot of people have a past, right? Like nobody's trying to just bring up his past unnecessarily, but it really seems like he ain't let go of his old ways. If we just take a quick glimpse of his past from 2005-06, then we're going to get into 2021 and what he did to his own congregation. Okay, so he drives a Rolls Royce, right? He served a 5-year prison sentence for multiple counts of identity fraud and grand larceny. He was released in 2013 before forming a relationship with Adams, right? Who I believe is the mayor of New York City, but there's a lot of negative controversy surrounding him, right? So he was busted in 2006 for a $2 million identity theft scam. He was ordained as a bishop a decade later. He used local limelight Adams. He used the local limelight that Adams provided to promote and raise money for his church, which is now called Leaders of Tomorrow Brooklyn, for a profit firm he launched in early 2014 that billed itself as a youth mentorship nonprofit. We're going to get into one more thing, and then we're going to get straight into how he stole a woman's whole $90,000 worth of life savings. Like, how does that make sense? How does that make sense? Like, you talking about cruel. Okay, so his legal troubles also didn't stop after serving the 5 years behind bars. On July 1st of 2015, he was arrested for allegedly hitting his then 7-year-old son, according to a parole violation, a release report previously obtained. The case was dropped after officials found no probable cause to prosecute, according to the State Department of Corrections. Months later, he was also arrested in Uniondale for violating an order of protection. Okay, so he can be pretty hostile. He can be pretty volatile. And honestly, we saw that. If anybody saw the live between him and Larry Reid and the other woman who was on that Instagram live, it got crazy. Okay, he ended up calling a woman fat, saying the woman looked like Biggie Smalls. He ended up calling Larry Reid ugly. He also ended up calling Larry Reid a maggot with an F, right? Maggot, dropped the M, added F. He ended up dropping that slur. You tell me how much different he looked from Larry Reid. Let's just start there. Let's just start there. He doesn't look a lot different from Larry Reid. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and put it on the screen. And Larry Reid's not, a bad looking person, but look. Here go him and Larry Reid on the damn thumbnail together. They don't look much different. But see, he couldn't, just accept the fact that people make commentary on YouTube and you can't stop that. Black man, another black man. You tell me they almost look like the same person. Okay. And so he's upset, and I feel like, his spot was blown up. It really showed his behavior. Drop a 1 in the chat if you saw that explosive live between Larry Reid and the flashy pastor, a.k.a. the robbed bishop, a.k.a. Lamor Whitehead. Okay? Did you see that live? Because, baby, my jaw was on the floor. Okay. And to be quite frank, not to say a pastor should be able to crack good jokes that really hit and land. Because, should you be skilled in hurting people's feelings? I don't know. But he really thought those jokes it was more like, oh, you're really slinging insults. But honestly, I know 8th graders who can really hurt feelings better than him. He really just felt like he ended up calling a woman Biggie Big instead of Biggie Small. Oh, you're big, so I'm going to call you Biggie Big. It was a mess. It was childish. It was embarrassing. And a man of the cloth should not be acting that way. But I digress. Let's bring it back. I already did a video on that. You can check out my previous commentary if you haven't already seen it. Okay? Let's see how many ones in the chat. Oh, some of y'all seen it? Child, see, somebody seen it. Y'all said it was a mess. Y'all said it was a mess. He showed his true colors, because what pastor gets up there and calls somebody a maggot with an F? Who does that? Who does that? You need to stop. First of all, we already know he's sick.
This is a sick Negro.
But he really needs to stop. Honestly, I got to get Andrew Caldwell on this.
Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to grow up. Grow up. Tired of telling y'all to grow up. Y'all need to stop it. I'm tired of it, y'all. You ain't finna work me out.
Oh, so okay, so a lot of y'all seen it. Someone needs to expedite his meeting with God. Not expedite his meeting with God. Yeah, it was a mess. It was a whole hot mess. But let's get on to what happened last year, that this woman had to file this lawsuit because he literally scammed her out of her entire life savings. Like, God is not pleased. God is not pleased. You know damn well. Shout out to all 132 of us here in the chat. Make sure you hit thumbs up if you haven't already. Now let's get into some of this narrative, and then we're going to get into the court documents, which kind of explains it in more depth. Okay. Hey, thanks for letting me keep you connected and in the know with what's happening in the Black world. Don't forget to smash on that like button for support and for more Black news. All right. So the woman that the flashy pastor is stealing from, that he scammed her out of her money, right? Her entire life savings. She's 56 years old. Her name is Pauline Anderson, right? And he basically is seduced the right word? He persuaded her to invest all of her life savings with the promise that he could actually help her buy a home despite her bad credit history, right? So she wrote him a cashier's check in November of 2020 and relied on him to give her $100 monthly allowance to pay for her living expenses. You tell me what living expenses anybody in, I don't even think in the mid-19, like, what is $100 allowance? Like, that's literally allowance money for a 9-year-old, a teenager, okay? What is an adult with a whole home going to do with $100? But okay, right? So after months went by, early in 2021 last year, without the monthly payments, god damn, you took her $90,000 and then you wasn't even giving her $100 allowance. Excuse me. I mean, I'm not even a scammer. Listen, I can't live with that on my conscience. I really do have a conscience, and I just can't. Like, I just can't. But imagine scamming somebody out of that much money and then not even being able to follow up by giving them 2 pennies. Because $90,000 compared to $100, that $100 is literally like 2 pennies. And so you stop giving $100 and everything. Damn, is it too early to go to the bush? He out of pocket.
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that?
So again, months go by without the payments or the home purchase, because that's what this was supposed to be about. This was supposed to be about him helping her to buy a home because her credit was jacked. And he told her every time she tried to contact him that he was treating her investment as a donation to his then campaign for the Brooklyn Borough president. He was running for political office and he was too busy to be bothered with whatever the heck she wanted and holding up his end of the deal. Okay? Because he was busy trying to run for office, right? This is crazy. This is beyond sad, right? He said he had no obligation to pay it back. He fraudulently induced her to liquidate these life savings, right? With the promise that he would buy a house for her. So vague promise. Let's get into more of these details. And then I'm really anxious to get to these court documents so that y'all can really see that it's real. Like, this is not just a random accusation and somebody making up a story. They literally took this to court. And then we're going to get into the $4.4 million house he was in the process of trying to purchase while he had her $90,000 and wasn't trying to answer her phone calls. He's busy trying to buy a $4.4 million house and using her money as a down payment. Baby, you talking about credit. You talking about not living right. Leo, you hear this shit? Leo, do you hear it? Leo don't care. As long as he get his treat at the end of all this. Let's get into it, right? So here's how this woman, right, met the scamming pastor. I'm sorry, the flashy pastor. Whatever you want to call him. The scamming flashy pastor. That's the name. The scamming flashy pastor. That's what we need to call him, right? So her son actually introduced her to Bishop Whitehead, the scamming pastor, shortly after she became a church member in 2020. Now, she had just recovered from a life-threatening surgery when the scamming pastor offered to join her on a phone call to pray for her health. And when they say people pray upon you, this is literally a praying pastor. P-R-E-Y, not A-Y. Okay? So he busy trying to pray for her with an A over the phone, and really he was praying for her with an E, right? So in July 2020, she connected with him about her desire to buy a home, seeking help from him and addressing her bad credit history and getting assistance in locating the house. Now, earlier, the scamming pastor had legitimately helped this woman's son to secure a home. So that's kind of how they got to know one another. Oh, mom, this man helped me get a home. Let me get this man to help you buy a home. But, I'm guessing maybe her son didn't have $90,000 to steal, but mom did, right? And that's why you got to be so careful, with your parents and your loved ones who are getting up in age, because vulnerable adults and seniors in vulnerable predicaments, people prey on this and people can spot them. Con artists like him can smell it from a mile away. This is a man who did 5 years for grand larceny and stealing. If he's capable of swindling $2 million from people and he served time for identity theft, oh, he's a crook. And he spent 5 years and he hasn't learned his lesson. If you haven't changed your ways psychologically in 2 years after you're punished for your crime, like, this is just fact. This is data. You're not going to change. You're not going to be rehabilitated. Like, that's just what it is, right? So he had helped her son to buy a home, right? So mom wanted to help, bad credit, she needed assistance, and the scamming pastor soon got her on the phone with 2 money lenders who told her that she was going to have a tough time getting a loan to buy a house. Now, that is when he offered to help her himself if she would invest her money in his firm. Let me say that again. The scamming pastor got on the phone with this woman with 2 money lenders who told her, listen, you're going to have a tough time buying a home. And that is when he offered to help her himself if she would invest money into his firm, which is his first and last name incorporated, Lamor Whitehead Incorporated. Not Lamar, L-A-M-O-R, Lamor Whitehead Incorporated, okay? And if you haven't already shared this video via text message in your group chats on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, social media, make sure you do so now, okay? So the woman, she did express reservations because she had no other income besides her savings, which is when the scamming pastor offered to give her the $100 monthly allowances while he sought a suitable home for her to buy. Where she went wrong, I feel like there are a couple places she went wrong, but I'm not trying to blame her, right? Because honestly, there are a lot of people who get older in age who have a great amount of assets, and people just get over on them, right? For whatever reason. So I'm not trying to blame her, but she didn't get a receipt. She got a $90,000 cashier's check. She liquidated all of her life savings, got a cashier's check, and got no receipt when she gave it and she wrote it over to his company in November of 2020. Really sad and unfortunate. Really, really, really sad and unfortunate. Okay. So after the first monthly allowance was paid out in January 2021, The scammer pastor essentially disappeared and cited his campaign, because again, he's running for political office for Brooklyn Borough president, as the reason as to why he's too busy and he can't really be worried about trying to buy her home right now, because he's busy running for this political office. He's worried about politics. I know I got your $90,000, and I know I said I would help you buy a home, but I don't have time for that right now. I'm too busy with this. Should we go to the bush yet? Because I know you lying. Baby, you take my $20 and tell me you too goddamn busy with whatever the fuck your problem, and I got a problem, and that's just $20. Let alone 90K, almost 100K. You lucky you still got knees. You lucky every morning you walk out to that Rolls Royce that you still got tires that ain't slashed. You lucky I didn't take that Rolls Royce emblem off the front of your vehicle and put it on my chain and wear it every day and post online with it just to taunt you with how I am inconveniencing you, you thief, you crook. This is like an episode of New Jack City. Are you serious? But let me calm down, because I'm getting heated like it's my money. It's not. But damn. They said, so that stick up was karma. That's what it seems like. Right? So, at first, the monthly allowance was paid out. He disappeared. He's too busy. He said that her money had already been invested and that it wasn't easy to access. Right? We're going to go over the text messages in just a second that were submitted as exhibits in the lawsuit. Okay? So let me go ahead and pull up this exhibit really quickly. Okay? Let's get into it. Let's get into these exhibits. All right? These text messages. If you haven't already hit thumbs up, make sure you do so. Because who else is going through these receipts here on their channel live for you? Okay, so here we go. Hi, Bishop. I'm reaching out to you for the refund of this money. I'm sure my son has reached out to you already for this. One of the things I repeatedly asked for was a contract in writing, which I never received. However, long story short, I need a return of this money to go ahead with my business transaction. Where I'm living is being sold and I need to go forward. Thanks for your time. Bishop says, Scamming Pastor, I'm sorry, says, good afternoon. Your son told me you signed the documents already and I was sending him payments. Okay. The money is already being invested. Your son has been disrespectful, and I'm very disappointed in him. I've helped him and his wife immensely, and I've helped him with a lot, including giving him money for mortgage payments, etc. And this well before any business transactions was done. The document that you were supposed to sign, you wouldn't be able to remove the money for 1 year to protect us for things like this and still get our business done. I'm a man of integrity, and you will not lose. I just gave him 50. What is he talking about? How you gonna put 5,000 K? Now, how much did you give him? 50? Did you give him $5,000? Why would he write 5,000 K? Because baby, what the hell is that? What is that? I don't even know what he's talking about. But let me go. I hate illiteracy. Good God, he leading people and he just dumb. How much did he give the man? What is 5,000 K? How much money is that, you guys? Because I know it ain't 5 million, because K means put 3 zeros after that, which means that it would be 6 zeros. Yeah, I know you ain't get that man $5 million. You a scammer. So what did you give him? 5,000, 50? Well, look. All right. Let me move on. Because he out of order. I just gave him a random amount of my money out of my pocket to give you because he said you needed it. However, I can't touch any more of my money because I'm campaigning right now. If you need me and you to do another contract, I'm open to it so that you will feel more secure. However, at this point, the investments have started. I just had everything on hold until the end of June. Lady said, Bishop, that's unfortunate from that lengthy email, and I never in my life. Okay, so something's missing here. Thinking that was reckless. Unfortunately, life has changed and I need to go forward, and I don't want to be back and forth, but that money, I need it back so we can discuss this. So we need to discuss when this will happen. Seriously and unfortunately. Here go Bishop. I understand, and I didn't know the urgency, but I can't do nothing right now because the money has already been invested. And it's just really ironic to me that as soon as your son gets disrespectful, that now he's requesting the money back. And now all of these sense of urgencies have just been created. Well, you know what? It's really not ironic. Her son probably got disrespectful with you because you playing with his mom's money. That's the fact of the matter. You playing with his mom's money. I mean, wouldn't y'all get bucked with somebody who was taking advantage of your parent, who was being a little bit too lenient, who took $90K from your parent? Yeah, I would get a little out of order too. Yeah, I would, but okay. Now all of a sudden there's a sense of urgency after your son has got disrespectful with me. After my campaign, after I'm done running for political office, I'll see what I can do as far as how I can expedite, slip in a few properties to get your money back. But it'll be towards August or September when I can start to give you something back, because the contract was supposed to be until December. Okay, so he's talking about flipping a couple properties. So he can't give her the money back, although he drives $1 million car, lives in over $1 million house, wears over $1 million of jewelry. But after he took this woman's money and promised to buy her a home, now he can't give it back until literally months down the line. So here the woman is saying, look, Bishop, with all due respect, I really don't want to talk about you or my son, because I would be discussing something that I have no context of, which would be inappropriate for me. Okay? So that's that. All right? Let's get to the rest of what and we're not done looking at all the text messages here. Now, campaign finance records show that the woman that he cheated out of her $90,000 worth of life savings, that she actually made after all of this, right? After all of this, she still made a $175 donation to his damn political campaign in January of 2021. You talking about somebody that's got the faith of a mustard seed after seeing all of this deceptive stuff? That's why it's important to have a good relationship with your peoples when they're becoming a little bit older to maybe stop them from making some decisions that go against their better judgment, right? Religion will have you doing some crazy stuff if you don't think twice. And just because they up there in the pulpit with the robe and they have a title, it does not mean that they are leading you to paradise. They could be leading you to debt, to bankruptcy, or eternal damnation. But I digress. So the scamming pastor did not receive public matching dollars, right? According to the records. Now, in May of 2021, matter of fact, May 19th, 2021, if I'm not mistaken. Matter of fact, I know I'm not mistaken. I remember that, right? Let's get into some more text messages. These text messages get a bit more spicy and audacious, as if the last batch of text messages weren't as spicy and audacious enough already. Okay. So let's get into this, right? Y'all know I'm good for the court docs. We're gonna go through it. We're gonna get into it. Okay. Shout out to Astute Queen B in the chat. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Or I think you might have just upgraded or something, because I knew you were already a member. Thank you for coming through, sis. So let's get into this, right? Says, good morning. Okay, so this looks like this is the bishop talking to the woman's son. Okay. He says, good morning, Rashid, you're a liar, and I promise you God will deal with you. If you want to hire a lawyer, have them contact me. At this point, you're a liar and a deceiver. Nothing you have said is accurate, and you have a demon that only God can deal with. Now watch God's judgment of your life. And then he's got a nerve to call people these names. And this is the same energy that he was given on Larry Reid Live's Instagram. This is just, that's how he roll. That's how he roll, right? And then he's got a nerve to put the damn Psalms 105:15 in there. Don't use no Bible verse to try and cuss me out, buddy. Because stop it. You the one gonna be burning in the hot place, not me. So here you go. You're trying to make false documents by text. You will see how much God loves me. You're a liar and a deceiver. And I just cannot stand the illiteracy that exists within the way that he is typing these text messages. Look, he says, I'm in awe. That's not how you spell it, baby. But all right. I'm in awe of how the devil is using you. However, I knew it was coming. Now beware of the hand of judgment will hit your life and everything that's connected to you. I can't stand when people try and capitalize every letter of a sentence when they're not like writing up an article. Like, this is a regular text message. What are you doing? On top of the disrespect, the grammar just kills me. I will also send you proof and bills from people. This is still the flashy pastor, right? This is still the scamming pastor talking here. I will also send you proof and bills from people that I hired months ago. I think he meant hired, right? Months ago to start the process of investments. And for the record, anything that was given to me is a donation unless it's attached to a contract. What you're telling me is, Robin Pastor, right, is that you took this woman's $90,000 in exchange for helping her buy a home. Now that y'all have a disagreement, now you're calling the $90,000, her life savings, a fucking donation. Now, granted, she coulda, shoulda, woulda got a contract signed with you. But you got some nerve. In the name of Jesus, you got some nerve. Baby, church or not, you would have had your ass beat around me and my peoples doing ish like this. You better believe it. Not my mother, not my grandmother, not my aunt, not my uncle. Absolutely not. But all right. This is it. He done lost his mind. God is disgusted. God is disgusted with you. You scamming pastor. I can't. It's too much. Have we went to the bush yet? Let's go to the bush.
It was gone.
Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand.
Look, I don't blame him. He's got old church members, ex-church members coming out and saying, look, this robbery was a scam. They don't believe it. They think he was fake. And look, I'm with them because I said that before I even heard anything from these ex-members, right? Anything you sent me was a donation unless it's connected to a contract. I was making investments. That's what I do, for the record. So the woman says, okay, all of this because of what? Because you took money that you refused to pay back and now you're quoting scripture to serve your purpose? This is so offensive. And did you just go there? You said you were a man of integrity. And where in all of this is that? So much passive aggressive tone in your conversations. I told you already, we're not having this back and forth. It's not my style. And it shouldn't be yours as you lead followers. Think about that. Now, you're actually asking God to strike my son because you both fell out with each other. That's unbelievable. I don't have to tell you. I don't have to tell you who you are. Every time you text, it speaks to the heart of who you are. I'm hereby notifying you, you scamming pastor. She didn't say that. I'm hereby notifying you, Bishop, that as of today, you have 5 business days to return the money. May 25th, 2021. Or I'll be notifying the police, the press, and your campaign. Okay? So it's a lot. It is a lot going on with this situation, and it's really unfortunate. Again, he flaunts all these things. We can see his mugshot right here. He's been arrested for this stuff, for things similar to this in the past. So it's really not difficult to believe he doesn't quite have a leg to stand on. When it comes to proving his innocence, as if he's not capable of scamming people, because this is his MO. This is his pattern. This is what he does. Unfortunately. So again, he's telling the woman, look, the devil is using you, talking about her son. And this is just a whole hot mess. It really is. Here's where it gets even crazier, right? /crazier. In July of last year, this scamming pastor literally accidentally emailed this woman's son a copy of a contract for a purchase that the scamming pastor was making of $4.4 million in New Jersey. He was trying to buy a mansion in New Jersey for $4.4 million while he was refusing to give the money back. So he's like, I ain't got no money. Whatever you talking about, I'm too busy. You can get your money back sometime around August, September. I ain't got it. Whole time, he literally tells on himself and trying to purchase this lavish home. Let's get into this document, okay? It's crazy. It really is, okay? So it's in the top. I mean, we're not going to read the entire document, but it's just cool to look at some of the numbers. I was reading over this earlier today. You can see he's the buyer and not the seller here. And you can see his signature right here as well. He's bold. I mean, he's bold. I'm really surprised he ain't been banged in his face yet or really been dealt with. Maybe he's got some security going on. But this is the contract that he accidentally mailed this woman's son after he said, listen, I ain't got it. Okay. $4.4 million. 100,000, blah, blah, blah. So you can see this bill of the purchase price, the initial deposit, additional deposit, mortgage, and balance of the purchase price. Let's see, what's this initial deposit on the second line? $100K, right? And so this is the reason why the woman and her son were like, wait a minute, right? You're using my mother's $90,000 as your down payment. The down payment was $100,000. My mother's, the money that you took from my mom was that's only $10,000 shy of this down payment. You trying to buy a mansion of $4.4 million. Make it make sense, my brother. Make it make sense, right? Now, here's the thing about this, though. Audacious, nonetheless, very bold of him to do. However, according to public records, it shows that the purchase never went through. So this is something that he was trying to buy. He was in attempts to buy. And who knows if he still maybe doesn't have it, right? You know how some people shuffle money around. If they don't want it to show in their name, maybe they'll put it in someone else's name who's close to them. But according to public record, he never went through with this purchase, although his name is all up and through these documents, right? But this contract, it's just bold that he was even trying to do this. And there's a down payment price here of just about the amount that he scammed this woman out of. But he still lives in a $1 million, house. Okay. Now, he did purchase, right? This scamming pastor, he did complete a purchase of a half-block apartments in Hartford, Connecticut, later on in the year through his firm, which is Whitehead Estates, LLC. This is according to public records, and he did borrow $4.15 million from a Brooklyn mortgage company in December of 2021, and then boosting the mortgage to $4.5 million in February of 2022. So he's still spending a lot of money. Whether he settled on the one mansion for $4.4 million and then turned around and bought a whole block for $4.15 million, he's still out here spending buku money, not caring about who he done screwed over in the meantime. Like, you're literally talking about screwing over old ladies in your church who are living off of their retirement and their life savings. Like, that is, if that's not cruel and unusual, I don't know what is. I really don't. I really don't. He also owns a home in New Jersey that he bought for $1.6 million in 2019. This is verified by public records, okay? Now, when the city paid a visit to the home, a default notice for the property was affixed to the front door dated July 25th, 2022. It declared that the scamming pastor had not made mortgage payments since at least June the 1st. Ooh, let's take a look at this, y'all. Not the scammer running out of money, or, you know what, scammers don't run out of money. They just decide what and who they're not going to pay at certain times to keep, their pockets and their bank accounts fluffed, right? But let's get into this notice, all right? Not the scamming pastor not paying his mortgage. You trying to play broke in front of everybody, pastor? You shouldn't even be calling you pastor. You scamalicious. Scamalicious. Okay, so we can see his name on here. Lamor Whitehead, aka Lamor Whitehead. Okay, so it seems like his name is spelled either or, right? And it seems like he hasn't made a payment since June 1st. This is interesting. Get it together, pastor. What's going on? Not you fleeing certain residents because of people looking for you. See, because you know people gonna be popping up at these houses. But no, he just got robbed like a week ago. So if he hadn't made a rent payment since June, that means he was already kind of upside down in hot water. Okay. And we've already went over the fraud and grand larceny that is deeply embedded into the past of the scamming pastor. Okay. So we went over the fraud and grand larceny. We went over the summary of what's going on with this woman that he scammed all this money from in his own church congregation. I really hope his church congregation drops down to 0. I really hope it's just him, his wife, and the sound technician sitting in church next Sunday, because he really doesn't even deserve to be leading people, even if they are gullible, because it seems like he comes across a lot of gullible people. Okay. Yeah, they're gonna pull up to the church. They're gonna pull up to the church. What I want to do now is I want to get into the court documents. There are a couple things in the court documents. The court documents tell the same story, but it kind of just drives home the legitimacy of these claims and everything that's been documented. We went through exhibits, I think A, B, and C. Either way, no, we went through exhibits B, C, and D as it pertains to this lawsuit, right? So we went through some of the exhibits. It's only right that we skim over the lawsuit. And honestly, the lawsuit's not that long. It's only 7 pages long. And not that we're going to be reading it in its entirety. I just want to skim it to give you all a better idea. I want to give you an opportunity to call in if you want to. But before we get into that, let's go into commercial. Okay, we do have some new sponsors, some new Black businesses that are coming on the show. If you have any friends or family who might be interested in promoting their product or their brand here on my platform, have them email me. That information is going to be in this commercial right here. We're going to be right back, going through these court documents, being nosy, getting sticky, getting into the syrup, and really just pulling the onion layers back as it pertains to this scamming pastor from Brooklyn, New York. Okay, drop them pancakes in the chat. We're going to be right back. All right.
So let's see if you're really about it. If you've been serious about what you've been saying about wanting to support more Black-owned businesses, here's your chance. I found a spot for us to grab our hats, hoodies, affordable electronics, phone accessories, and gadgets from. It's over on edwerso.com. That's EDWERSOW.com. Grab something for your hubby, your wife. Hey, I ain't encouraging that side chick behavior, but it's just in time for the holidays. So head on over there and grab your AirPod cases, hoodies, and affordable electronics. That's edwerso.com, EDWERSOW.com. And I'll see you over there. It's time to face it, boo. Your product needs more exposure. If you want to see your ad here on my channel, be sure to shoot an email over to yt.theplainestjane@gmail.com and let's chat. But if you're new in my neighborhood here on YouTube, hey, I'm the plainest Jane, and I provide coverage and commentary on trending stories, viral events, and Black culture. I definitely appreciate you stopping through and hitting that subscribe button if you like more of my particular brand of syrup.
All right. And we are back. Let's get into these documents. And here's what I want to do. Before we get into these documents, I want to give a shout out to Larry Reid Live. Okay. Shout out to Larry Reid Live for providing these documents. Okay. He's got his watermark on them, so you know where they came from. So if you don't already know who Larry Reid Live is, make sure that you follow him if you haven't already. I'm a part of his Patreon, and this is on Larry Reid's Patreon. So that is how we're able to access these, obviously, right? We see his watermark. And I can't knock it, right? And I'm not even about to pretend like I didn't get these documents from him. It's obvious. But I just wanted to shout out my fellow comrade here on the tube as it pertains to this. And obviously, because this scam had passed, got on Larry Reid's bad side, Larry Reid is like, okay, well then let's put out some documents. Let's go ahead and talk about your past and what you be doing to your church members. You know, Larry is when we talk about Black YouTubers, he's at the front and always has his finger on the pulse when it comes to people in the gospel sector, preachers, the church, all that other stuff. That is Larry Reid's specialty. Just like when you think about R. Kelly, you think about me. You think about Black news and blah, blah, blah. You think about me. When you think about anybody in the church, TDJ, blah, blah, blah. Larry Reid is that first person that comes to mind. Okay, so shout out to him first and foremost. But let's get into skimming through some of these documents. Okay, so we can see that upon information and belief, the defendant, who is Lamor Whitehead Incorporated, and that's how they are referring to him here, as Lamor Whitehead Incorporated. They're going through his address, right? They're getting into his venue. Okay, so here's the important part. We get into the facts, right? Matter of fact, I don't like it on that screen. Hold on, let me make it a little smaller, right? I don't think that's really going to do either. Hold up. I want to make sure y'all can see it right. We get into the facts, right? We get into this woman. It says this woman began attending the church in January of 2020. Upon information, the scamming pastor represented himself to be the bishop of the church, an aspiring candidate to political office, having ran in the 2021 Democratic primary for office of the Brooklyn Borough president. Again, we went over that. On or about April of 2020, he personally introduced by phone the woman and her son. Again, she was recovering from a life-threatening surgery. Okay. According and due to his position within the church, she arranged a further call with him around about July of 2020. She was looking to purchase a home. He represented himself as a party who could assist her in doing so by offering advice on how to improve her credit score, to secure favorable mortgage terms, assisting in locating suitable properties from which she could choose to purchase. In July of 2020, the scamming pastor and the woman who he scammed, right, and her son, had all of them on a call with a representative of Transamerica. Oh my God, not that company. A lending institution in which she maintained an individual retirement and IRA account containing her life savings. On the call, the scamming pastor directed the woman and the Transamerica representative in moving $100,000 from her IRA to her personal checking account. The scamming pastor did this for the purpose of perpetrating the fraud and conversion that will be set forth in further detail below. Around about the end of July of 2020, she was introduced on a phone call to another associate named Mark Kaplan, a mortgage loan officer. On the phone call with the scamming pastor and Mr. Kaplan, the woman was told that based on her low credit score, it'd be difficult for her to obtain financing for a house. Now, around about October of 2020, she was introduced by the scamming pastor on a phone call to another associate who identified himself as Sean Carson, the vice president of the Federal Savings Bank. on a phone call with the scamming pastor, Mr. Carson. The woman was told that because of her having co-signed on one of her son's student loans, okay, we can see here at the top, one of her son's student loans, which was in arrears, she was unlikely to be able to secure financing for a house in the immediate future. Now, between October and November of 2020, the scamming pastor called the woman and indicated that because Mr. Kaplan and Mr. Carson, the two people he introduced her to, had advised that she would have difficulty obtaining financing. Okay. Scamming pastor proposed that the woman should invest her money into the company, Lamor Whitehead Incorporated, and offered to use the money to purchase a home for her to make any needed repairs to the property so that it would be habitable for the woman and return any unused portion of the investment. Not sitting here selling the thought that there's going to be some unused money, knowing damn well you was trying to scam. Okay. Return any unused money of the investment. Now, when the woman expressed her reservations because she had no other income to support herself, the scamming pastor offered to provide her with $100 a month, child. Chop change. $100 a month to live off until the purchase and renovation of the property was complete. Now, in November of 2020, after speaking further with the scamming pastor, the woman agreed to the scamming pastor's proposal and withdrew $90,000 from her checking account made payable to the scamming pastor's company in a cashier's check, which he accepted and upon information and belief deposited into his bank account. A copy of the cashier's check is annexed here to Exhibit A and made a part hereof. Okay, so they do have a copy of the cashier's check. That's the importance of doing a cashier's check, child. They might not have a receipt, but they have a copy of that cashier's check, which if they have a copy of the cashier's check, the bank can track down who cashed it, where it went, right? So neither the scamming pastor's company nor the scamming pastor as an individual provided the woman with a receipt, a written agreement, or a contract, or any other documentation evidencing the payment. However, in text messages between the scamming pastor and Ms. Anderson that occurred on or about May 14th of last year and May 17th of last year, the scamming pastor admits to the nature of her original payment to him as an investment. Okay, so he identifies that, yeah, she gave me money, but that was an investment, and that monthly payments were indeed owed to her, along with a balloon payment of the entire amount, which he claims was repayable to her after 1 year. Now, copies of the text messages are annexed in Exhibit B, which, again, because y'all know I'm already on it, this isn't something that Larry Reid had on his thing. I went ahead and showed y'all Exhibits B, C, and D separately, independently, right? That's why they weren't watermarked, right? Now, on or about January 3rd, the scamming pastor's business made its first and only payment. Not you only made one payment of $100. Damn. You could have at least did it for 9 months, $90,000. You could have at least gave it $900. I mean, you'd have stole $90K. All right. January 3rd, 2021, the scamming pastor made his first and only payment of $100 to the woman, right? The ex-church member. Now, around about the 21st of that same January, the woman contacted him to inquire as the status of the purchase of her house. For, let me see, the scamming pastor indicated that he didn't have an update and that he was busy with his personal political campaign running for the Brooklyn Borough president. Now, between January of 2021 and May of 2021, the woman contacted the scamming pastor on numerous occasions to inquire as to the purchase of the house for her, and was told on every occasion that he was just too on busy. He was just too busy to pay her any mind. He was too busy with his campaign. Now, May 19th of last year, 2021, she texted the scamming pastor again to inquire some information. He responded by text indicating that he had treated the monies paid to him as an investment. Now, is it an investment or a donation? Because I'm noticing something. In some instances, he wants to call it an investment. In some instances, he wants to call it a donation. A donation has no no return value attached to it. A donation is a donation, right? People just expect you're going to do whatever you need to do for yourself, and they give it in good faith, and it goes towards you and your cause and whatever they believe in that you have going on. A donation is not anything that people are getting anything to return, but an investment is something different. So which is it? I really hope that they nail him with this. I really hope that they're able to nail him with this, because he's trifling. He's way too trifling. Okay. An investment. Okay, so hold on. On that date, the scamming pastor responded via text indicating that he had treated the money paid to him not as an investment, but as a campaign donation, which he was under no obligation to repay. Oh, baby, that ain't had nothing to do with your campaign. You out of pocket. You out of pocket. All right. So it says copies of the text messages are in Exhibit C. We already went over Exhibit C in those text messages. Oh, he's so out of line. Oh, he's going to the hot place, child. You know he ain't going to repent because he's too bold about it. On or around about July 14th, the scamming pastor erroneously, which means by a mistake, emailed the woman's son a contract, right, of sale. The contract for property in Saddle River, New Jersey. The contract was for the purchase of a property by his company, right? The Scamming Pastors Incorporated Company, right? The premises for a sale by the price of $4.4 million with a scheduled closing date of August 11, 2021. And so no wonder he was telling her, like, look, I ain't really got nothing for you. I'm too busy with my campaign, but I'll be able to give you some money back around about August or September, right? He was planning on closing around August time. A copy of the contract is Exhibit D. Again, we already went through that. Okay. What else do we have going on? They said there's nothing godly about this person. Look, I agree, a lady 747. I agree. Right? The premises is a large estate with an in-ground pool, a waterfall, outdoor fountains, a hot tub, a gym, a wine cellar, among many other luxury amenities. It's located in the upper-class neighborhood of Saddle River, New Jersey, and it's one of the highest per capita income. Let's go over to the next page. One of the higher capita income markets in the country, one of the richest places to live, right, in the country. That's a big deal. And you can't give, okay. A copy of the marketing photographs for the premises on the website is in another exhibit. Upon information and belief on or about August 13th of 2021, the closing of the contract occurred, and upon further information and belief, the scamming pastor's company and the scamming pastor as an individual took ownership and possession of the premises. Now, the scamming pastor fraudulently induced Miss Anderson to liquidate her entire life savings to pay him the investment of $90,000, promising to use the funds to purchase and renovate a house for her. She has materially relied on the representation of the scamming pastor, the bishop of the church, that he would invest the funds in a home on his behalf because he was supposed to be a man of the cloth and had previously helped her own son secure housing for himself. Now, upon information and belief, the scamming pastor's business and the scamming pastor as an individual fraudulently converted her investment of $90,000 as a part of the down payment for the contract to purchase the premises as a personal residence for the scamming pastor himself. And Miss Anderson was instead left with nothing but a vague promise by the scamming pastor to pay the funds back in the future, followed by an assertion that he had no further obligation to do so. As further detailed above, the scamming pastor, acting on his own behalf in his capacity as principal for his company, made a material misrepresentation that in exchange for $90,000, he would assist the plaintiff in purchasing and renovating a house and taking the steps outlined above and promising to repay the funds along with payments of $100 a month, starting in January of 2021. This representation was false. Okay. When it was made by the scamming pastor, he took no further action to carry out any of the promises he made to the plaintiff after he took her money. The scamming pastor knowingly and intentionally made this false and misleading representation with the intention of inducing the woman to rely on it and give the sum of $90,000 to the scamming pastor. Now, the woman justifiably relied upon the scamming pastor's representation due to the position of trust and confidence he occupied as bishop of the church, and due to his history of helping her son secure a house himself. As per his statements and text messages, he has no intention of returning the money that he took from her. As a direct and proximate result of this fraudulent misrepresentation, the plaintiff has suffered damages in the loss of funds provided to the scamming pastor and the scamming pastors incorporated business. Now, the plaintiff therefore pays and seeks a judgment and restitution of her damages in the amount to be determined by the court, but not less than $90,000, constituting the amount of funds wrongfully misappropriated by the scamming pastor's company and the scamming pastor as an individual, plus statutory interest and reasonable legal fees, together with such further and other relief as this court may deem just, proper, come on now, and equitable. Baby, let me tell you something. He going to hell. Because it's no way. It's no way. What are y'all thoughts about this? Like, what are your thoughts about this? This woman had to go to court. She already, had given up all of her funds. All of her funds. Because she thought her pastor was helping her get a home. Then she had to go scrape up money or borrow money from someone to get an attorney to help fight this crook, to help fight this con man in court. Because he's like, listen, I'm going to drive around in my Rolls Royce, me and my wife, and our millions of dollars worth of jewelry, and we're not paying you back nothing. It was a donation, donations. If y'all don't watch over your elders who have money, who have assets, whether it be a home, whatever resources that they have that somebody else is going to find valuable, please keep in contact. Because it's people like him, like scamming and swindling elder people. It's a thing. They get these phone calls all day. People come across them and realize they have a certain amount of money. Even if they live frugal, but they got a little something they working with, keep an eye on them. I used to work for a banking institution, a financial institution, as a personal banker. And you wouldn't believe how many elder people will come walking in there talking about, I got a phone call saying I want a trip. And I gave them my information, and now they done cleared out my whole bank account. And I'm talking $600,000, $500,000, like you name it. You've got to stay close. It's so sad. And again, I can't blame them, because when you get up in age, you start to lose some of your cognitive, you start to, see now. That stuff starts to sink in. But it's really sad seeing people take advantage of elder folks who really trusted somebody. You'll catch, elder people. I used to watch Snap, but even I know that this is true based off of my close friends and my family. People get elder. People realize they've got a lot of money, and here comes some young person. Person might be 67. All right. Here comes this hot little 23-year-old. This is men or women, right? Hot little 23-year-old. Oh, I got a new girlfriend. She 23. Grandpa, you're 75. What does this 23-year-old want with you? We know what the 23-year-old wants. While you're not there, you're not at grandpa's house. The 23-year-old is busy having him sign the will over, sign this over, doing some little, court document marriage so that they can get access to all the stuff. You have got to keep a close eye on your people. I've seen too much, right? In my work experience, my personal experience, it's crazy. It's crazy. You have to re-educate the people who you care about, who are getting up there in age, about not trusting nobody. Don't let nobody call you up and give them your social over the phone. That's easy for anybody, 18 through let's say 67 to remember, but you start getting up there and you know, and close to 70, they don't know. They answer on the phone. They don't even know what day it is. they're just here, you know. It's really sad. You gotta help your people remember like that they shouldn't be giving out their information and they shouldn't be trusting people with their financials and stuff. Education, special education.
Education, special education, psychiatric medication, juvenile incarceration, emotional frustration, and premature extermination.
I see people in the chat. Y'all checking my family or my elders. I ask them who they talk to today. That's a good way. That's a good way to go about it. Hey, who did you talk to today? Because you don't want to seem like you coming down on them because they'll get upset. They'll get upset. Like, why did you get this person? And then they'll shut down on you. So you don't want to do that. But yeah, just checking in. Hey, who did you talk to today? Yeah, somebody called and said, I want a trip. That's when you need to stop everything you're doing and go right over there. Right. Tamika said my uncle got caught up like that. Oh my gosh. I don't want to name who in my family that happened to, but it's happened. It's happened. And it happens to a lot. Like vulnerable adults, it's a real thing. And the environment I work in now, I still see that stuff every day. You've got whole families trying to fight for just basic money to bury their people or their people on life support. And some little 23-year-old floozy, right? I love that word because don't nobody use it no more. Some little 23-year-old floozy and came in and caught your pop, in the hospital for hospice, life support, whatever, senior center. And you don't know that they didn't sign over their deed, their will, their trust, their home, whatever the case is. That's how these things like this happen. It's really sad and unfortunate. It really is. So have these relationships and have these talks, okay, with your people, right? Shout out to Doris in the chat. I appreciate you. What are y'all thoughts on this? Because I'm just kind of over this crook man. I really hope that he gets what's coming to him. I hope that he goes back to where he came from, which is jail and or prison, okay? Because it's not right. I do take offense when people are taking advantage of seniors. Sometimes I feel like seniors are stuck in their ways and they're rude intentionally. That's not all of them, right? And they feel like they're entitled to demand respect, but they don't have to give it to people. But I just stay away from them, right? But when people are taking advantage of seniors, right, and swindling them out of their funds, it's like, that's just not right. I feel so bad, right? I'm going to get old one day. And I hope that my kids and my little sister and whoever are around me, right? Praying on the elderly in church is a new low. That's a great point, old soul. Child. But yeah, it's a lot. Floozy. Yeah, she a floozy. She a floozy. He's an absolute floozy. So yeah. I already did give away some of my family information in this video, but yeah. Tawani Yvette says, I didn't believe this guy for a second. Who robs people in a room full of people? What robbers drop? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I wonder if his wife knows what his wife knows. His wife is his wife knows. I've seen the videos. I picked up on the energy. His wife knows. His wife is not no, 50, 60, 70-year-old woman that's oblivious. She's around about the same age as him. Not too old, but ain't too young, right? Not as young as me, of course. They ain't no older than 50. They're somewhere around the mid-30s to 40s, mid-40s max. They're somewhere around the mid-30s to the 40s area. So his wife definitely knows what it is. He's a scammer. His energy, right? She knows his past. His wife is complicit. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. That's absolutely what it is. Larry did say he got raided by the FBI, and now Fee said he's going back to the family. He got raided by the FBI? Oh, child. See, I've been so focused on these documents and presenting this stuff from last year. I'm not in on it right now. When did he get raided by the FBI? I'm going to have to go catch up. Did Larry Reid say this on Instagram or in the video? Because I'm going to have to go hit the channel. He got raided by the FBI? Good. Because he ain't right. He ain't right. He ain't right. How old he look to y'all? I ain't gonna lie. In this picture right here to the right, when he got this purple one, he looking bombed. He looking bombed already. He look casket ready. Yes, he do. He still got all the color in him though. He don't look gray, you know, and ghostly. But he looks a little embalmed. That's why I give him around about the 40 mark. I'm gonna find out his age when we end this live, but yeah, it's giving 40 to me. He pushing 40. They seized his cell phones. What? He said it on his YouTube. Oh, he 55. All right. Well, he don't look bad for his age, but I knew he was. He's 44. See, we gotta figure out what it is. Now he look dead. Yeah, he do. He looking bombed. He looking bombed. That's okay. They seized his phones. Oh, baby, I'm gonna need some documents. See, I'm gonna listen to Larry's commentary, but I'm gonna need some documents to prove this, so I can come back and I can give y'all the real syrup, right? What are my final thoughts on unanswered questions? Put him under the jail, okay? I don't have no unanswered question. I don't want to know why he's doing this. He ain't right. You know how old people say he ain't right. He ain't never gonna get right. He can't get right. That's what this guy is. He said he looked like he ready for the upper room. Okay, so it seems like he's around 45. They said he's dead inside. Y'all got jokes in this chat. Y'all got jokes in this chat. Here's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna give y'all a sticky note. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit our typical subscriber commercial, right? To thank I'm sorry, not the subscriber commercials. I do appreciate the subscribers. But what I want to do is I want to thank the channel members, the people who donate $1.99 or more to the channel every month. You can see them right here in the chat. They've got an emoji next to their name. It's either like a syrup bottle, a pancake, or something. The channel members, we're dope. We're lit backstage. We did a members only live yesterday, which is really dope. And we cut up. We have a good time. So I'm gonna play that. And I'm going to come back and more than likely give you a sticky note and or a Black History moment. So let's hit this. Throw your special emojis up in the chat if you are a channel member. If you're not a channel member, that's cool. You can consider joining one day. But you can just throw up some regular pancakes. We're going to be right back. Okay.
The plainest Jane. This is one of my favorite comments here. She says, I loves me some black. And she said, loves me some black news. She says, is it just me or does anyone else get tired of seeing people that don't look like them delivering info about them day in and day out?
So wait a minute, you ain't joined the channel yet so that you can access special perks over here with the plainest Jane?
Rolex on your wrist, a plain Jane.
Ooh, watch this. Hey, I'm the plainest Jane. I'm a cultural commentator and informant, and I provide sticky coverage on trending stories, Black news, Black culture, and everyday topics with a sticky, abstract perspective. So get familiar with the perks. I've carefully curated all of these things, and it's just a little exclusive glaze to amplify the way that you express yourself. So get comfortable, get used to our official emoji over here. That is the pancake stack, because it's always sticky in Hollywood and in real life, and especially when you spend the time over here with the plainest Jane. Like I said, I hope you enjoy the exclusive glaze that I've provided for you to amplify the way you express yourself, and I hope you enjoy the digital vibe. Hey, listen, I always want you to keep it sticky, but be sure to think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. But most importantly, I hope that you're feeling all right, and hopefully you've had some time to tackle some of your invisible problems. I know I got a couple of new subscribers, and I just want to say thank y'all. I really do appreciate you. And if you're not quite feeling all right, this channel right here, once you join, it's going to help you kick back and decompress always, but it'll also keep you in the know with what's happening with the best Black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy. So again, get comfortable. The first drink is on me, all right? Act like you got some sense, and I'll see you around. But don't forget to keep it sticky 24/7 by following me on Instagram, but hit that notification bell so that you always know when I upload and you get your dose of syrup first. Now, with all that stickiness being said, the most important thing I want you to remember about this neck of the woods and the plainest Jane is Black Lives Matter. And if you don't agree,
Buy pumpkin. That would take you out. I don't play that shit.
Now you gotta go for real.
It's just that simple. Hey, look, whether you join or not, I do want you to stay beautiful, black, and blessed. And just know I appreciate your support. I'm your girl, the plainest Jane. And let's see what's happening in these virtual streets. You ready? All right, now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now.
And we are back. Someone said in the chat that the robbed pastor did an apology today. And they said it was deplorable. Now that's what I'm trying to find. Hold on. Pastor Whitehead Instagram. See, because I had his Instagram, but child, he did an apology. What? 6 hours ago. It's just 10 minutes. It's just 10 minutes. All right. Let's go ahead and do it. It said it was deplorable. Let's watch it in real time, baby. Let's watch it in real time. Hold on. First of all, what's in his stories? Girl, what? Not a press conference. Yeah, we don't care. What's going on? You're looking all crazy over here. A conference? We don't care. Join me live today at 6:15. Emergency press conference. Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't care. What date is this from? 18 hours ago? You stealing now? Oh, hold on. Somebody called him out. You stealing now? That's why people don't go to church. Because the people like you who try to hustle the word of the Almighty God. Warning goes before destruction. And great is the fall. Humble yourself under the Almighty God. You may be able to fool people, but not God. Yeah, see, I wish he'd take them pink glasses off because it's like he stole his child's glasses. What's going on? Is this the apology? Is this the apology?
And I tell you. Amen. Father God, we thank you for this set time. We set ourselves in agreement.
Child, I don't even want to listen to you pray. Where's the apology? Oh, here we go. Apology from the bishop. How long is this? All right, let's see. He calling somebody biggie. You definitely looking black and ugly as ever. However, you stay Gucci down to the... I know you do, you thief.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon.
Hurry up. Spit it out. How long is this? Shit.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
What? Oh, no. How long is it? Because, baby, we ain't got all day.
Everybody, good afternoon. Come on, please join me.
Minute.
Really briefly.
Spit it out.
Good afternoon. Y'all share. Y'all share this message. Please share this message.
Don't act all holy now. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Them comments rolling in.
Message. Boy, I tell you, social media is undefeated. I tell y'all. Y'all. Oof.
You clearly undefeated too, stealing from old women in the church.
Y'all share this message.
Girl.
How y'all doing? I wish y'all ask me how I'm doing.
We don't want to know how you doing. We hope you ain't
doing.
sleeping that night. What's going on? I know you paid for good Wi-Fi. What's going on, brother? Brother, what's going on? You got phone calls coming through? Get it together. Do not disturb is a thing.
Come on, y'all. Y'all share this. Come on in.
Not you looking nervous.
Sorry, somebody was trying to call my phone. That's why I had paused.
Get it together.
It paused.
I'm sick of it.
Thank y'all for asking about my babies. It's a rough time for them. It was really, really rough, y'all. For my church and for my family. I just want to give y'all a few more minutes to just jump on
We don't need no minutes. Spit it out. Child. You don't know what to say.
All right, y'all. So I want to just get right into it. I'm not going to be long. I just wanted to address a few things and just to make a few announcements. I just wanted to be honest with everyone. So within the last 24 hours, there has been, some changing, some shifts. I, first and foremost, right, I want to stand and I'm going to stand 10 toes down, right? I want to stand 10 toes down because, sometimes we as leaders,
we apologizing, but we standing 10 toes down. That's not how.
Go through so much pressure in life. And to see my family still cry because of 3 men running in my church with guns drawn to hurt me and my family and my church. When you go through a traumatizing experience like that, and you're a man and you're supposed to protect your family and you're supposed to protect your church.
Are you victimizing yourself?
And people completely violate. It is, and I just want to be honest with you. This is one of the hardest things that I ever had to deal with. And
he want to cry
so
bad.
In this position, I know God equipped me for it, or he wouldn't have considered me for it, but I still have to go through the process. Under those conditions, mentally, I don't care how strong you are, it's going to be hard to be in your right mind. And I've never in my life received so many hateful messages from people in this world. Never in my life.
But the hate that you sent, the vitriol that you spewed, the homophobia, the fat folk.
Literally, every 3 seconds, I get an Instagram inbox or notification.
Good.
Every 3 seconds.
Good.
I've been strong for the last few days.
Not you trying to wipe fake tears off the camera. Bye. Goodbye. Please get out my face.
For the last few days, I've been strong. I've never been a weak man.
All right.
But to receive so much hate over and over again, and to still have to have the courage to lead, but yet still have to deal with the memory of not only my life going before my eyes, but my wife, my daughter, and my 8-month-old daughter with a gun in her face. And to see everyone that trusts me to lead them,
Child.
to see them on the floor. And to have my church and counseling yesterday as they talk about the sentiments of their heart. I don't care how strong. I don't care how strong you are. But we, as a church, represent love. We represent forgiveness. And we all come to church.
Why you ain't forgive Larry Reid?
We all come to church unarmed. We don't have no weapons. We drop down unforgiveness and we pick up forgiveness. And to be ridiculed by people and by the media, because me being the pastor, I have a felony and I was incarcerated 9 years ago illegally, but nobody wants to talk about that. But even if it wasn't
illegally, you stole $2 million.
The case was over 18 years old.
Identity theft.
How so many people Google and pull up my past and incorporate my past with what they feel that I'm doing now. And the Lord has blessed me to live a lifestyle that is befitting for my testimony. And, y'all, excuse me.
Girl.
And to be on the front page of the newspapers day after day and to hear the media talk about my past, it hurts me so bad. Not about my past, but it robs my church.
The beauty store?
From people feeling empathetic for these monsters that came inside my church.
The monsters you hired?
I feel that I'm taking that away from my church because there's no real empathy, no sympathy that's coming towards my church. Everyone talks about my lifestyle and what I wear and what I drive. And everybody's overlooking the men and women and children that are hurting. I asked my daughter today, I said, are you afraid to go to church? She said, I don't know. One of my deacons called me and said his baby said, Daddy, please don't go to church. I don't want you to get shot. But all we can do is tear down the man of God. I'm just a young black man trying to do what God said.
You talking about tearing down the man of God, but you tried to tear down Larry Reid by calling him a maggot with an F based off of your interpretation of who he loves, which really should be none of your business. Do you want some? He's a man of God too. That's the reason why you wanted to square up with him. Because both of y'all are men who are black men in the gospel spotlight. But come on, yo, finish this.
I grew up without a father. 6 weeks old.
Oh my God.
My dad was beat and strangled to death by 16 police officers because he was a black man.
None of us can verify that. He keeps bringing up his child, right, to disarm my 8-year-old daughter. And I'm not discussing that. But you want us to feel sorry so bad that you bringing up all this stuff, which has nothing to do with how vile you are.
His name was Arthur Miller. He was the first Eric Gardner and the first George Floyd. So
your father was the first George Floyd? Boy, if you don't get
Well, you kidding me? You better get on. Better get on. Better get on.
I'm so sick. I'm sick of this already. How long is this? Matter of fact, this was done live. He's got sad music playing in the background. Listen.
I grew up without a dad. I had to learn on my own how to be a man. That's why I might be a little rough around the edges. I grew up in Brooklyn where you had to fight. When I was in prison, I had to fight.
I can tell you listen to Kevin Samuels. You said you taught yourself how to be a man. Did Kevin help you? Let's keep going.
Nobody don't know my pain, know my story, but I'm just judged. I don't have a dad like everybody to protect them. My father was killed June 14th, 1978. And as I got older, I said, did I ever have a Father's Day on earth with my father? And the Father's Day in 1978 was June 18th. So I never experienced a Father's Day. I never was able to say Happy Father's Day to my dad, whether I can talk or not talk.
So you got daddy issues. That's why you're so unhinged. It's not an excuse, because if you can sit here and acknowledge it and retell the story, the nigga, you can go heal. You have millions of dollars, right? You have the resources. You have the access and the reach to go get the help you need. Don't pull on that victim shit as a crutch. If you're not willing, you've already acknowledged it. So you need to go get help. It's not an excuse to steal $90,000 plus some from people and be disrespectful. But come on.
But the media ridicules me. Social media is just, I get it. This is what y'all do. It's a machine. It's a machine. It's a machine that has been orchestrated for its own glory. So I say all of this to say, I first want to apologize because my team sent me a live from a blogger. And all he was doing, and I don't even want to say his name because I don't even want to give him credit anymore. He did enough damage. But it's a blogger that tears down pastors and the church. And that's how he makes his money. And he was tearing my church down. He was making a mockery out of my church. He got down on the floor, mimicking me when I got on the floor.
Let me speed this up a little bit more, because it's not nearly moving as fast as it should. Where's the speed?
So I wouldn't get shot, and so my church wouldn't get shot. And then they laughed about my daughter, 8 months old, with a gun in her face. And what they said, and quote, they said that a gun was in her face, but we don't know. We didn't see that, so I don't know. And they both started to laugh. They mocked my church, and then they started to say that my church looked like a shoebox.
It do. Let me show, because you try to make it seem like he was lying. Sweetheart, the spots that we buy Chinese food out of here is more spacious than your goddamn church. What are you talking about? Your car is bigger than the church.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain giant.
So this is 922 Remsen in Canarsie, Brooklyn. This is the location where Bishop Lamor Whitehead holds his Sunday services and his sermons, the location for his ministry. And there's a very popular Haitian restaurant next door, Venus Restaurant. And this is what it looks like. It's on Remsen Avenue. It's in kind of a industrial area as well, but that's where everything happened. So they must have come in when they were robbing him, unless the gate was open, which we don't know yet, but up those stairs. And police are telling us right now this investigation is ongoing. 911 call was made. Over $1 million in jewelry was taken from him and his wife. Luckily, no one was injured, but that's the location right there.
So he mad that somebody said that the church looked like a shoebox when it looked like a shoebox. You know, it reminds me of that clip from The Real when Tamar was crying her eyeballs out. Don't get me wrong, I love Tamar, but you know, some people they dish all these jokes, and a simple small joke will like hurt their feelings. And Tamar was crying her eyeballs out, and she said, "They said that I look like a Muppet. Do I look like a Muppet to you?" And it's not even that Tamar looked like a Muppet, because she kind of like don't. But when she was crying about looking like a Muppet, it was easy to see a Muppet on her, because it's like, girl, you crack jokes about these people all the time. They gave you a simple joke and said you look like a Muppet, and here you sobbing the biggest tears in the world, and you tell people to get over it when you tell your jokes. Like, no, like, your church look like a shoebox. You out here, you big in these streets, right? You telling Larry you not tough because you know you're used to a certain element of the streets. You're used to intimidating people, and you're used to sensing out people who are like built for the streets. So you act like that was the energy he was giving Larry. Like, Larry, I'm built for the streets. You not tough. So you sitting here talking all this roo-roo, rah-rah street stuff, and he called your church a shoebox, and you sitting over this bitch sniffling. I know you lying. I know you lying. Bye. Bye. Goodbye. Adios.
They begin to ridicule the house of the Lord. And then they would say, if I have money, why wouldn't I do certain things in the church? And they start to tear down the church. My church, the church that has just been violated. The church that just been violated. A church that 3 armed men. And if y'all look on the news, you will see that now the NYPD has released some of the footage of these 3 villains. So if you look at News 12, Channel 2, 4, 7, 5, 11, you're going to see still shots of these young men that came into the house of worship during morning service with guns out to rob the church. And this blogger said, well, they didn't rob the church, they robbed you and your wife. So
true.
I got on this live and I began to try to say, I did not do anything wrong to you. Why are you doing this? And he began to mock me. And then another young lady began to laugh and was mocking me. And I began as a human. I became human. I wasn't the bishop for a minute because as they laughed, I started to remember me being helpless to save my wife, my daughters, my children, and my church. They mocked the church. They mocked my ministry, and they laughed and told jokes. And I went and I got upset and I said some things out of character. I called them both names because hurt people hurt people. Names that I did not mean. I called him a faggot, and I called the young lady a blimp. I said, you're biggie. Because I was enraged. And I want to apologize to whoever was offended. I already apologized to them. But I want to publicly apologize because I was raised by women. 90% of my church is women. I am pro-woman. I have nothing against a woman. My grandmother and my mom is my best friends. And I also told them to kiss my behind. I said that. See, let me tell you something.
That's not what you said.
In order for people
you said ass. I heard you.
To understand your heart, you have to let the people know the truth. But I was so hurt. I was so hurt by these pastors. They are 2 pastors, and they both have churches laughing at my church. I was hurt. So now he's trying to flip it to make it seem like I'm homophobic and I'm against the LGBT community.
You are.
Which I'm not. You live whatever life you want to live. I teach the Bible.
You spoke about you assuming that he likes men, and then you spoke about the Bible speaking against that. Like, stop playing. How are you a real estate pastor with the shitty building? That's the truth. Because he said, I flip houses, I do real estate, I'm going to help you with but you got this terrible building. That's unacceptable.
I don't hate anybody. Last year, I ran for the president to be the president of Brooklyn.
Now look, you use the M word with an F, and you even just said it again, and you need to stop saying that. It doesn't matter even if you're holding yourself accountable for saying that word. You need to stop saying it. You notice I'm not saying it. I'm trying to let y'all know what word he used without using a word. That is a sharp word. It is an offensive word. It is a violent word. Stop using that word. Don't say, oh, I don't No, that's just like a white person using the word nigga and saying, I don't hate y'all. I'm just upset in that moment. And I don't have a problem with you black people. Fuck that. If they use the word nigga and they're not black, we take issue. If you're not a part of the LGBT community and you're using the M word with an F, you're homophobic. Period. It is an insult. It is a slur if you're not a part of that community. Please stop trying to insult people with intelligence. I don't know what type of low IQ people he is surrounded by frequently. But clearly he's surrounded by a lot of gullible folk and, for lack of better words, idiots.
Before the LGBT community. And they was in support of me because of the plans that I had for them. For them not to be harassed and for them to be respected as people, as a culture. It's your civil right to be who you want to be. But church hurts. And to see these two pastors try to distort and destroy the pain of my church. And then now he wants to try to discredit me for what? My church was robbed. Why would you use this as a platform to hurt your brother? So I don't really care about them. I care about if I offended anyone. If I offended the LGBT community, I apologize. But I did not mean no harm. Please don't look at what they say because I'm sure that the tabloids are going to try to mix this and spin it around. I'm ready for it though. But I want y'all to understand that I'm a forgiving man because I serve a forgiving God. So I wanted to publicly apologize to any person that's with this, the LGBTQ community or any woman that I offended with the video going around. However, I know that you will see why I was so offended. That's all that come up the timeline. You're a scammer, you're this, you're that. And people don't even know me. Everybody in high places get sued, lawsuits. You just gotta make sure, you gotta see what happens after. What I'm saying to y'all is the devil is trying to steal what happened to the church. So I wanted to first do that. And tomorrow, I'm calling a press conference in front of my church to save the houses of worship, to protect the houses of worship. And I'm asking every pastor, every imam, every rabbi, whatever religion you serve, if you go into a house of worship, I'm asking you guys to come out and let's defend and protect our houses of worship. Because what we don't want is copycats. And the world, when I tell you the world is circulating this video, the entire world, we must put this to a stop. And I'm asking each and every pastor in New York City and around New York City to meet me in front of my church at 12 noon. I'm going to be doing a press conference. If I'm there by myself, I'm going to be there by myself. If you are a Christian, if you are a Jew, if you are a Muslim, if you're a Buddhist, Hindu, whatever you are, they have violated us. Whatever you serve, wherever you serve.
Boy, he don't know how to work do not disturb when he on the live. Or did the live cut off? I will hope it cut off. Did it cut off? Please. Please tell me it cut off. What's going on?
Sorry about that, Instagram. I know it paused. But
Jesus, he's still going.
Wherever house of worship you're at, this could have been you. This could have been you. I'm going to speak from a Christian point of view. How many of our grandmothers go to church? What about the grandmothers that were in church? How many of our moms and our fathers?
What about the grandmother that you stole $90,000 from? What about that one? Don't be asking about all grandmothers, because at this point I'm treating the woman in this lawsuit, I'm treating her like she my granny. That's my granny. What about her? Yeah, what about it? What about the grandmothers that go to church? What about them? And you steal money from them. No. It's you trying to bring everyone and everything else into the situation to deflect from how crazy you acted. You spewed nothing but vitriol. You were upset that your spot was blown up. If you were legitimately robbed, if you were legitimately victimized, and if you were really working with $1 million deficit of jewelry, property, whatever the hell they took from you, you wouldn't have time to sit here and insult people. And as a bishop, as a pastor, as a man of the cloth, to call people fat, ugly, to call people who look just like you ugly, and to talk about their sexuality, because what does their sexuality have to do with you missing $1 million worth of jewelry? That'd be the last thing on my fucking mind if somebody took $1 million worth of stuff from me. Is trying to insult their sexuality as if who they sleep with or who I'm assuming they sleep with. Stop playing with me. He blew up your spot. Your spot has been blown up. I hear the FBI and raided your spot. You're upset. And as a matter of fact, you didn't make it any better. Had you been quiet after the robbery, it wouldn't be this bad. But see, you pissing off people in the media thinking you about to show up and G-check somebody in the media actually made the spot hotter. Because Larry released some stuff. A lot of other people, based off of your ridiculous behavior, got to digging up your past. And here we are. Oh, not only did he serve time years ago, but last year he had scammed one of his own church members. And now the FBI won't stop looking at you. Not that they should have ever stopped looking at you to begin with. There's somebody who literally shot up and shot at random people in the Q train up in New York. And here you are driving your Rolls Royce trying to negotiate a sentence for them, trying to make a statement, hoping that you can walk the person, right, who was shooting up, right, a whole train station. I'm a usher you to the mayor. The mayor's going to negotiate. No, the police came and they intercepted their whole situation and arrested them because who the hell did you think you were? Stop bringing up other people's grannies and shit, because we want to talk about this granny who took you to court last year. We want to know if and when you're going to pay her money back, or when her attorney is going to have enough of what they need to garnish your goddamn wages. Because at this point, she need more than her $90K. She need pain and suffering too.
Brought us to church. I'm calling everybody that support Bishop Whitehead to come out to this press conference at 12 noon. If you know me, come out. I'm asking everybody to come out to support me, to protect the houses of worship. It's not just to protect the church, because if this happened in the Jewish synagogue, I'll be right out there, because guess what? They worship their God, just like I worship my God.
No, you wouldn't. You're a liar. He did call Larry a sucker. I said, this is an old man. I should have known he was more than 40. Because he said, use a sucker. Use a sucker, Larry. Nobody uses the term sucker and jive turkey and buster like somebody 45 and older. That's him. He definitely called Larry a sucker. And it's not funny, you know what I'm saying? But the figure of speech itself is funny. I do find jive turkey, sucker, and all that stuff to be funny. Just like I think floozy is funny too. You old heifer, you old wench, you old floozy. It's hilarious to me, but whatever.
Now, I already addressed all of the things that I needed to address.
Did you?
And I'm asking everybody to meet me at 922 Remsen Avenue tomorrow.
No.
Brooklyn, New York, 11236. I'll post a flyer tonight. I got my team working on it. I was praying and God said, do it. Meet me out there, y'all. Your grandmother could have been in her church and this happened. And don't say it only happened to me, because down south, they went in the church and shot up the church and killed 11 people. They're running into schools. But at the end of the day, when you run into the house of the Lord, you will be able to run anywhere. These men need to be taken off the streets. And I need every religious leader, every religious person. You don't have to be Christian at all. If you believe in your God, I ask you to come out with me and support and stand in proxy with me at 922 Remsen Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. I am calling a press conference to protect the sanctuaries. And I'm not having no rages and no rants. That's it. It's done. I'm not getting my emotions no more. I understand. But at the end of the day, when you see your wife crying and your wife is afraid because men put guns in her face, when you see your daughters crying, when you see your church crying, everybody always want to talk about my integral move. Until your integrity is tested, stop talking, stop judging. Everybody's in the bleachers but want to tell you how to play on the field.
Great metaphor, buddy. Everyone's got their own test of being in the field when it comes to having to control their fucking emotions. A lot of us go to work every day, and how we feel about our boss and how we feel about that environment, we can't just put that on full display. It's called self-control. So stop acting like people don't have enough experience to tell you to mind your business, right? People don't have enough life experience to tell you that you are out of line because you feel like they're in the bleachers because they've never been a preacher before. Not true, buddy. You were out of line. And it's as simple as fundamental self-control. To a lady 747, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I really do appreciate that. Says he's done 50-11 lives since the robbery. Not one to ask the robbers to turn themselves in or to pray for them or nothing like that. What kind of man? That's a good one. That's a good one. Because when you see pastors that are the victims of stuff like that, they come out and they're like, they know not what they do. I'm going to pray for them. Please turn yourself in. God will forgive you. Da, da, da. Oh, he ain't. You know why? Because he know who the pastors are. The pastors probably smoke blunts with him when he leave the church after every function. You saw how the dude to the left of the robbery footage during the live stream looked like he was in the middle of doing a mannequin challenge. He barely blinked. He sat there. He stared the whole time. He ain't look shook. He ain't look scared. He looked like he was ready. It seemed like it was a planned situation. Thank you, Famecom Network, for the $10 super chat. It says Audacity is on sale this year. It's not even on sale. They're giving it away for free. They're giving Audacity away for free this year. Okay?
Meet me out there, y'all. 922 Remsen Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11236. I so humbly thank each and every one of y'all for all of your support.
You asking people to meet you outside. What you going to be wearing? You going to be wearing that jewelry? Your leftover jewelry? Because some people already met up with you in the church. You want people to meet up and pull up on you again? Because I'm just saying... You're just giving away your location and shit and asking for people to show up again. All right.
Please continue to support our church. Please continue to support our ministry. And please pray for my church because my church at large is mentally unstable right now. They are afraid to come into the house of the Lord. They are afraid. It was a traumatizing experience that we did not deserve. I thank each and every one of you for taking this time out of your busy schedule. And I want y'all to look up and down, go in my on my page and just click on the comments and look at how people talk to the bishop, the man of God. If you are a Christian or if you are any religion, I want you to see how they're talking to a shepherd. I want you to see how much hate people have in their heart and they don't even know me.
Baby, fuck that title. People are talking to somebody who behaved in the manner that you did. So don't try and use that title to keep people from talking to you a certain way when you're not upholding what that title requires, which is basic self-control and respecting what people do, their size and who they decide to. You came on and you disrespected a woman who was larger by calling her Biggie Smalls. And baby, I've seen your wife and she is not the size of Tyra Banks back in the early 2000s. And listen, I'm not here to sit here and act like I'm skinny as hell because you can see my arms, right? But what I'm saying is you don't have room to be calling people fat. So don't look how they're talking to the bishop. Look how they're talking to the shepherd. You ain't no goddamn shepherd. You ain't leading nobody to heaven. People are talking to you based off of you acting like a heathen and you reverting back to the nigga on the streets that you were then. Some people would say you got out of character. I would say you got back into character because you ain't changed. You did 5 years in the pen for grand larceny, theft, identity theft, $2 million you took from people. And that wasn't your only run-in with the law. You're a fucking career criminal. You're a con artist. People are talking to the con artist and the criminal that way. Stop it. And then you calling Larry Reid ugly like y'all look much different. You both look like figures from the Blacks and Wax Museum. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with how they look. Because, baby, I love the Blacks and Wax Museum. But when I want to crack a joke or two on your fraudulent ass, I will. Stop playing these games. You trying to dog whistle people to cuss out the people in the comments who are coming at you and holding you accountable. Look at what they're saying to me in the comments so that your supporters can come and rally under those comments. Stop talking to my pastor that way. Fuck that. Stop stealing money from grandmothers. Somebody's whole life savings you got over there in your bank account. And you using on Barbary and whatnot to look casket sharp. Cut that shit out. Cut it out. Because he's talking to the bishop.
I'm tired of apologizing. So therefore, I'm not even putting myself in a position. I don't apologize, and I'm not putting myself in a position where people want to try to set me up because this situation that happened to my church is trending around the world. So people want to try to agitate me, so therefore they can post me. So people, when people Google me or hashtag me, it'll go to them. Yeah, this thing is all a game. I don't want to play the game. I want my church to heal. I want churches to heal, and I want to make relationships with pastors, imams, rabbis, you name it. I want to be able to bring the world together because this situation is unusual, and we're not going to lose the opportunity to stand 10 toes down and protect all houses of worship. Meet me at 12 noon in front of my church at 922 Randallstown Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11236. Please download the church app at Leaders of Tomorrow Ministries. Go to your Google Play.
Y'all don't even download that app trying to be nosy, child, because you download that app, your iCloud address attached to it, your bank account gonna be empty tomorrow. Don't you download that app. He's going to clear your bank account out tomorrow. Stay away from that app. You wait for the Instagram updates about what's going on at 12 noon. Because let me tell you something, 12 noon, I'm going to be trying to look to see what's going on. Who's live? Anybody there? But I ain't downloading that app. For research purposes, y'all know I'll be all over the place trying to get some research for y'all. You better not download that app. I'm not downloading that app. He going to seize your phone, freeze it up, take all your money. Don't you download that app. It's something connected to it. You know, he is a professional con artist. He is a career criminal. Don't do it. I'm telling you some good stuff. Don't download that app. Don't say I didn't tell you so. Don't come on my bus tomorrow talking about Jane, I downloaded the app. I'm broke. Hey, look, I told you. Matter of fact, I'm going to call you up here to do an interview. I'm going to cash happy $10 and that's going to be it. That's all I can do. Shit. He's trying to get y'all. Listen, look. You hear these games? He is a conner.
On your Apple store. And join us on August the 13th, where we have a world baptism. If you want to be baptized in the name of Jesus, come to Coney Island Beach from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We'll be right there baptizing in the name of Jesus. And I ask y'all, even if y'all don't like me and how I dress and all this other stuff that y'all talk about, pray for my family and pray for my church. You don't have to pray for me. Don't be selfish. If you don't like me, pray for my church. Pray for my family. That's it. You don't have to pray for me. But don't steal this from my church because you don't like me. You don't even have to recognize me. If you feel like that I'm scamming the church or whatever the case may be, feel that way about me, but still say, Lord, bless his church because my church is hurting. We've been victimized. And everybody's trying to turn it around to make it look like we deserve it or I deserve it by throwing up my past. We didn't deserve that. To have all them women and children on the floor, shaking, guns to their faces. And just to clear some things up, the reason why you see my minister behind me that was looking so still was because there was a perimeter set up. There were men in the aisle.
Not you addressing the mannequin challenge, because baby, look, he been watching all the commentary and us pointing out how it's fake. Now he's like, oh, here's why he was so still. No, he was still because he knew what's going on. Stop playing these games. Shout out to Lauren Supreme, Leo Reign Supreme. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. I appreciate you. I hope he's almost done because I'm
done. It was a perimeter setup. So everybody talking about I would have got shot for my pastor. Everybody would have got shot because if they would start shooting, because they was the only one with guns in there. What are we going to do? Please pray for my church. Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries. We're at 922 Randallstown Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11236. If you want to join our church, download the app. And you can click on join. Or email us at info@lotim.org. God bless you. Thank you for this time. And I hope that I did you guys a justice by just clearing the record and clearing the air. Please meet me there at 12 noon tomorrow at my church. I'll be standing out there. Amen. And I'm going to give a heavier update on this robbery, things that I have not said, and my concerns, and also just standing in proxy for all houses of worship, not just the church. It happened to me. So if it happened to the house of worship of the Christian faith, it can happen to any other house of worship. And if there are no houses of worship, where will we be? I love you guys. I love Jesus Christ. Thank you so much. Please share this message. Please share this message. Please share this message. And I just want all of you to understand, the ones that says that I'm doing this to my church and doing that to my church. I know I don't have to say this, but y'all, I'm not even on the salary.
I know you didn't bring up money to lie. Stop it. I'm not even on the salary. You drive $1 million car, $1 million home. You had on $1 million worth of jewelry.
I love you with my whole heart. Y'all go in peace and go in power.
Please.
Go in peace and go in power.
Please.
Thank you so much. My name is Apostle Bishop Lamor Whitehead.
Bye. Goodbye. Because I'm ready to eat my cheesesteak. I'm really tired of you and your mess. I stayed here to listen to your bull crap. I know you lying. Did y'all hear that? Princess said I'm making my church logo right now so we can have a fierce dragon of this critic. Hello? Because I speeded it up. When is the dragon going to stop? I guarantee you he's not done talking. See, the more you talk, there's nobody who's a true victim and who will keep endlessly talking unless they feel like they're going to turn the court of public opinion. And they're guilty. That's just what it is. When you're talking too much after you've been victimized instead of really focusing on healing and what you need to focus on, we already know what it is. You're using all of this rope to hang yourself, literally. Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. It's too much. It's too much going on. Don't y'all download that app. Don't y'all download that app. Oh, Famecom Network. Now you know you was wrong because it was a setup. It's the same. It's a setup. People like him are the reason why. Look, this is the reason why, honestly, I don't go to church. I'm spiritual, right? On a spectrum of between spiritual and religious, with like, let's just say spiritual is a 10 and religious is 1. I would say I'm at like a 7. I'm more spiritual than religious. I don't really get down with the church. There's too much judgment. There's too much, the church I was born and raised in. I've just seen the way they treated people. They weren't focused on the word. They were more focused on the social aspect, the political aspect, fighting over different positions, judging people, saying come as you are. And then when people come in, I'm not talking about inappropriate stuff, right? I'm talking about they want more young people to come. You got the 25 and 30-year-olds showing up in jeans and a polo button down, and they turning their nose up at them like they want everybody to wear a 3-piece suit with a cummerbund every Sunday. Everybody's not doing that, right? Like, I just can't. Like, so for me, I study on my own. I don't feel like I need to go to church in order to get close with the higher power that I believe in. I don't feel like that. I feel like I can have my own connection. And I feel like, honestly, it's a lot of distractions in church. It's not what people wearing, right? It's the behavior, the activity, and them old people. I ain't gonna lie. Like that's what I experienced at my church growing up, right? They just had a disdain against the young people until they realized all the young people left and it was just them. Then they were begging young people to join the church again. And it's like, no, you treated them like crap. Every idea they had for church activities and this, that, and the third, y'all want to go to Old Country Buffet or do this old people shit. Literally 70% of the church are K through 12 or college age people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all not going to make the church inclusive for everybody, then people are going to stop showing up. Not to mention the judgment is what drove a lot of the younger people out of the church. You're not about to tell these women that they need to dress like your 60, 70-year-old ass because they know fucking 25-year-olds showing up to church with your hats and your suits, from Heck Company and Gallo and JCPenney. They going to show up in their black dress pants and in the blouse. You know what I'm saying? Or a button up or whatever the case is. Like, it's just too much. I got tired of having to hold my tongue every time I go, avoid certain people who I knew didn't like me or had an issue with my mother or my sister. And, oh, this person don't like that. Stop this shit. It's more drama in the church than it is in high school. And that is a problem. That's the problem. There's so much driving the, people out of the black church. It's just too much going on. I just don't have time. And that's whether you got a young pastor in a predominantly young congregation, or if you have an older pastor in a predominantly old congregation. I've seen it fall so many different ways. I visited other churches after that one, right? I went to Empowerment Temple with Pastor Jamal Bryant. Before Pastor Jamal Bryant became what and who y'all know him as on reality TV, I'm here in Baltimore, born and raised, been here, right? And before he was all over there, he had this church over here in Baltimore, roundabout Park Heights, called Empowerment Temple. And one thing about Pastor Jamal Bryant I can say is he's very skilled at talking to a younger congregation, a younger group of people. He gets pretty risky though, and he knows he's getting pretty risky with his double entendres and his, the things that he's insinuating. And from a distance, and I get it, like we here on YouTube, we might be salacious with our titles. He'll get salacious with the titles of his sermons to the point where you think he about to talk about sex. You think it's just like the name of a, you know what I mean? And then you got to deal with Pastor Jamal Bryant. I never thought I'd be here saying that, but forget it. I'm being transparent about the church and what I've seen and what I know about Pastor Jamal Bryant before he even thought about, before reality television was even for real a thing. Him messing with so many women in the congregation, that's not something new. That's not something he started doing on reality TV. There's just a lot of different elements at play running people out of the church. And I just don't have time for that drama. Like, I really don't. I value my peace more than anything. Anything that costs you your sanity, anything that is making you uncomfortable on a weekly basis that is optional. For me, I have the option to stay the hell away from. And I'm just not going to do it. And so that's why I stay home. I study my word. I'll find a little sermon every now and then. On a Sunday while I'm cleaning the house or whatever the case is. And I connect with my higher power and my spirituality and my beliefs on my own. I don't need a whole group of a whole building of dysfunctional people in order to be close to my maker and how I believe I got here. Absolutely not. And it's things and it's people and behaviors like this man here who push people out of the church because it's nothing but dishonesty there. I mean, people fighting over basic stuff. Like the women who read the damn church announcements and the sickness shut-in list. They arguing over who's the pastor's favorite and all. Like, I don't got time. I really don't. And then you've got the jealousy factor between the elders and the younger people in the church. They just they want to be combative because they feel like, it's too much. I got stories for days, and maybe I should do a whole nother video on what I've witnessed, my experience, and maybe make it a panel and call in so that y'all can call in and talk about the issues that y'all have had in churches if you've had any. But baby, I don't have time. I really don't. I really, really, really don't. Yeah, Jamal is definitely a womanizer. The thing is, he's good at speaking. It's just he won't stay focused, and he likes toting that line to the point where his titles and his insinuations within his message and his word, it becomes so salacious that it's like, wait a minute, what you know what I'm saying? I can't remember what the name of this one sermon was, but he kept talking about a snake, and the way he kept talking about the snake, it was like he was talking about an eggplant emoji. And so don't get me wrong, I get it when you're talking to younger people. You got to be a little like hip, cool, and modern with your terminology and your method when you speak to them. What I thought was really cool, one of the first times I visited his church, literally probably 2009 or 10, was he had this projector up there at Empowerment Temple over there in Baltimore. I'm not even sure if that church is still there. And you could tweet your notes along and use a certain hashtag to tweet your notes along if you were taking notes during the sermon. Because I'm that type of person. If I'm listening to a sermon, I do like to take notes. And you can either write it manually, or at that time, social media was so new. Twitter was so new in 2009, 2010. And so I would tweet my notes, and then I would go back and I would I could easily pull up my notes on my Twitter later on, using the hashtag that he had designated. It was so innovative. You have to understand it was so new. Now it's so easy to say, hey, use this hashtag and let's talk. You're watching the BET Awards or whatever. It's like, use hashtag BET, whatever, and you can go see what everybody else is saying too. In 2009 and 2010, it was so fresh. There was none of that. So he literally was very ahead of the curve with that. And it spoke to us millennials. But outside of that, and me being able to go back and look at my notes and see what other people were saying, outside of that, it just was, more of a flashy show. More of a flashy show than anything. And you could see all the women kind of rushing to cater to him and rushing to be his next side woman, because his wife was always sitting right there. But y'all, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. It really, really, really is. You can rather have church at home with your selective group. I don't pray around people I don't know. I know that's right. I know that's right. I think churches want dysfunctional preachers because it makes them feel better about their dysfunction. Yeah, yeah, that's an unfortunate strategy, and I do feel like people do implement that. The jealousy is horrific. I sing and oh my goodness, it's been hell. My new church has great leadership, but I feel safe, but I still have my guard up. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, they get older, and if they were used to having a certain position or doing a certain thing, they want to be really combative with the youth. But honestly, the youth is what is a church full of 70-year-olds? I'm not trying to sound insensitive, but I've seen it. I've seen it. They're miserable. They're decrepit. You know, who's putting down the extra chairs when you need extra chairs? Who's lifting this? Who's doing that? Because 70-year-old Joe can't do it all. You know what I'm saying? It's not even all about needing younger people to be a part of your congregation for manual labor. Like, come on, like, be inclusive. Why are you so bitter towards the younger people? Some people they grow older and they end up envying and resenting younger people because they just know where they are in age. It's really unfortunate, but they have a nasty disposition towards people who don't make the same decisions as them. I'm sorry, why would a 70-year-old think that anybody that's 25, 30 would dress the same way as them? Y'all dress old because you're old, and that's not me making fun of you. It's age appropriate, right? A 70-year-old shouldn't be wearing what a 25-year-old is wearing. So why are you creating the expectation that 25-year-olds and you're trying to get them into the Bible? Why are you pushing them away? That I've seen so many people leave the church that I grew up in because they were judgmental over what they weren't, and they weren't being explicit. They didn't have body parts hanging out. Their jeans was ironed, their polo shirt buttoned down, fresh. But you upset and you say, "Come as you are," right? What's the distraction about the jeans and a button up on a man? What's they even got to the point where they didn't want women wearing dress pants. It's like, oh, everybody's got to wear a skirt. Excuse me, I'm not wearing a skirt every Sunday to church. I'm not. Okay? I'm going to wear these dress pants. I'm going to wear these non-west shoes, and I'm going to wear this Macy's blouse. And you're going to take it, or you can get the hell up out my face, because I'm not here for you. I'm here for Jesus. I'm here for Jesus. Fuck you. Okay? And it's just been too many times I've really wanted to cuss somebody out in church to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm not going no more. I can get my guard on at home. Okay? Because y'all got too much going on. You might say it's not like that anymore, but honestly, I have not been to church outside of, funeral services and weddings. I ain't been to church in the longest time because I just can't stand it. So I truly haven't been to church, a regular church service, and or a christening. My niece got christened. Other than that, I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's literally probably been about 7 to 8 years since I've been to a church, because I just don't have time for the drama. It gives me anxiety even thinking about it. Trying to behave a certain way so that a congregation doesn't judge me. And I know I'm showing up in great, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I have on some really good dress pants, you know what I'm saying? Like $60 dress pants, almost. Don't even get me started. Like, I shouldn't have to worry about my clothes, knowing I'm not showing ass or titties in church, showing up to get Jesus, put my blazer on, show up with my Bible, and here goes some old people feeling like, why you not dressed like me, bitch? Because I'm not 70. All right. So let me. You see how I get a little worked up. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I stay home and I get my Jesus on right here. Right here. It's too tempting to cuss somebody out. It's not worth it. I know God will not be pleased, so I don't put myself in that situation. I don't put myself in that situation. Okay? It's too much. I can't do it. Nope. It's too much. Nope. It's too much. Okay? And that's just me. But y'all can let me know how y'all feel about it down below in the comments. Look, I know how to make y'all laugh tonight. Okay? Make sure y'all hit thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit thumbs up on the video. Tap thumbs up on the video. They want you to have on your hat to the side and your thing button. You know what I'm saying? And no, ma'am. I'm not there yet. You know, one day I'll be there. That's not where I'm at now. Respect me at my level. Respect me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to go to church and either, you know, mind your business. Like, nope. This has been a really good live. This has been a really good live. They said Bernadette and them need to mind it. They really do. They be in everybody else's business. Meanwhile, their children and their grandchildren run around having babies by the janitors in the church, sick, 5 kids, you know, pregnant at 15, and you worried about what I'm wearing. Worry about them. Okay? Them the ones I see on the corner when I'm driving. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why you in my business. Your granddaughter running around here asking everybody for a couple of dollars to buy some formula, and you worried about what I'm wearing. Your priorities, Teresa. Your priorities. Carolyn. Gloria. Your priorities. Get it together. As a young woman, don't let no one judge you. When we all will be judged. I know what curse a second out my grade told me. I can go to child. It's a lot. I say leave their clothes alone as long as they're not offending anyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're obviously not there, like looking like you just came from the club. Like, that's something different. But yeah, it's just too much. It's too much. Thank goodness y'all don't know what church I'm talking about, because I did name some legit names out that church that used to get on my nerve. Get on my nerve. Okay? Nonetheless, look, I want y'all to have an amazing evening. Okay? I was going to give y'all a sticky note. Excuse me. But we didn't spend enough time here. It's been 2.5 hours. I plan on having a really good show tomorrow. Tomorrow's show should be really good. Trying to get a special guest on. If I don't have the special guest on this week, then we will have a special announcement next week for a new collaboration over here. And some of y'all know the person that we're going to be collaborating with. I just don't know if we're starting this Friday or the next Friday. So, but I still think tomorrow's going to be a really good show. Okay. So make sure, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure y'all hit that button. All right. And subscribe, hit the notification bell. I know y'all already hit the thumbs up button. It's 194 of us here, 192 thumbs up. Boom. That's lit. I haven't ate dinner because y'all know when I eat dinner before I go live, this is the second live of the evening. If I eat dinner before I go live, y'all know I get the itis and it just don't happen. So I need to eat dinner and then go right to sleep because I do have to work tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Well, today is Friday. So look, y'all have an amazing evening. Okay. This is why people can't stay in church. Okay. Had a ball with the chat. Thank you for the serve. Good night. Yeah, you are so welcome. This was a really good show. I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to give y'all a full show tomorrow. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's more stuff that I wanted to talk to y'all about today. But I just wanted to separate a couple of videos, and I can't wait to get into the show tomorrow. I can't wait to get into our Black History moment tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be great. Okay. Someone said, go eat, Jane. Right. Because I will stay here all night trying to finish up talking to y'all. So let me just go ahead and cut it short. Let me cut it short. Because if I keep talking, I'm going to keep talking. So let me just take a breath, get ready to do this outro, and we're going to get out of here. Okay. Share this video if you haven't already. Share it on Twitter. Share it on Instagram. If you share it on Twitter or Instagram, make sure you tag me so I can repost you in my 24-hour stories on Instagram or on Twitter, and I'll follow you if I'm not following you already, if you share the video. Okay. Listen, be sure to tag me in all your favorite trending topics on Instagram, on Twitter, preferably Twitter though, because I'm always on Twitter, but I'll be on Instagram too. Tag me in your favorite trending topics. I truly enjoy when y'all tag me in things that are happening in real time. Anytime y'all hear about R. Kelly, y'all be tagging me right away, and that's lit. I really enjoy it. I really appreciate the fact that when y'all think about R. Kelly, y'all think about me, because y'all know I'm gonna give y'all the rundown. I'm gonna give y'all the full syrup. Okay. We're going to have a really good sticky note in store for tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. It's 2:30 in the morning over here in Baltimore. So I know it's got to be late wherever the hell you are. Don't forget to check the community tab. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to the backup channel, right? Subscribe to the backup channel. Subscribe to the backup channel. It is the third link down below in the description box. You'll see at TPJ Network. To Tamika's Den. I saw Tamika's Den in the chat. I'm gonna DM you after this to see what your availability is like this weekend so that we can have that meeting we've been talking about. I see TD just joined the channel. Thank you so much for coming to Backstage Sticky. Don't forget to check the members only community tab if you haven't already, because if you are a channel member, you get access to notifications and videos and posts that everybody else who's a regular subscriber doesn't get access to. So hopefully the Beyonce boxes will be in the mail for us, because y'all know that 3 of y'all are getting Beyonce boxes. If you are a channel member, right? I'm doing that giveaway. But look, don't forget to do something to decompress, to relax and decompress today. Let me know your thoughts on all that we discussed with this scamming ass pastor. Okay. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thumbs up or down, either way, I appreciate it. Send a cash app, okay, if you can. If not, just hit thumbs up, okay? But also make sure you hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of this breaking black news. It's celebrity commentary, all right? Cultural commentary, common sense commentary. Look, drop some pancake emojis down below. I'm tired. Y'all stay beautiful, black, and blessed. I'm hungry. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, and I'll probably see you on the community tab first, if not anything. Deuces. But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right in another video. I'll see you there.